Hi viewers, this is J. Swami, Assistant Professor of Zoology. Today we are going to discuss the respiratory system of prawn. The respiratory system of prawn is well developed and consists of lining of the gill cover or bronchiostegids and three pairs of epipodites, eight pairs of gills or bronchi. All these structures are located in two large compressed gill chambers which are situated on either side of the thorax. Here if you observe the bronchiostegate or the inner lining of the gill cover, it acts like the respiratory organ. Why? Because the inner lining of the gill cover is very thin, membranous and highly vascular. It enriched with the many blood capillaries, so that is containing minute blood lacunae. These form large respiratory surfaces which absorb oxygen which is dissolved in the water and release the carbon dioxide into the water, so that due to the rich vascularization, due to the presence of minute blood lacunae, it is acting like a respiratory organ. And coming to the epipodites, epipodites are thin leaf-like outgrowths from the integument. There are three pairs of epipodites which are located on three maxillipads. That is, these leaf-like outgrowths of the integument, which are called as the epipodites, they are given out from the coxal segments of the three pairs of maxillipads. These are situated in the anterior part of the gill chamber, just below this gaphognathoid. These structures help in the respiration. And come to the gills. The prawn has 8 pairs of gills. 8 pairs of gills inside the gill chambers, but only 7 of them are exposed out. Only 7 of them are exposed out. Let us see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So one is masked by the other 7 pairs of gills. Whenever you remove the gill cover, only 7 gills in each side are visible. And these gills are classified into 3 categories based upon their place or origin and attachment. They are podobranchs or foot gills, arthrobranch or joint gills, pleurobranch or side gills. Let us start with the podobranch. These podobranchs are attached to the coxa of the second maxilliped. Podobranch is attached to the coxa of the second maxilliped. See here, this is the second maxilliped and this is the podobranch or foot gill which is attached to the foot. Podobranch or foot gill. And come to the second one, arthrobranch or joint gill. It is attached to the arthroidal membrane that joins the limb with the thorax. 2 gills of this type of gills, they are found on the third maxilliped. So whenever the third maxilliped that combines with the body of the prawn, at the arthroidal membrane, these 2 gills are present. And coming to the pleurobranch, these are commonly called as the side gills. These are attached to the lateral wall of the segment bearing the limb. The last uh, 5 walking legs of the thoracic region. So they have 5 pleurobranchs. The last 5 gills on each side, they are pleurobranchs attached to the lateral wall of the thoracic segments, where we find out the 5 walking legs. So these all are the gills based upon their location or origin. If you come to the structure of the gill, so in this we will discuss the structure of gill, internal structure of gill, blood vessels of gill, blood circulation in gill, mechanism of respiration. See here, this is the structure of gill. These gills are more or less crescent in shape. These gills gradually increase in size backwards. See, this is small, this is furthermore large, this is furthermore. Finally, this is the large one. So that each gill is larger than the one in front of it. Each gill is attached to the thorax by a small connection which is called as the gill root. So through this gill root only nerves and the blood vessels enter the gill and leave the gill. The gills of Palaemon are commonly called as the philobranch. That is, each of them consists of 2 rows of leaf-like rhomboid gill plates arranged like the leaves of a book at the right angles to the long narrow axis of the base of the gill. Here we can also see a deep median longitudinal groove runs between the 2 rows of the diverging gill plates. Then coming to the internal structure of the gill. Internal structure of the gill. It shows a single layer of cells which with the thin cuticle on both sides. The cells are of 2 types. Some of them they are called as the pigmented cells, and some of them they are called as the clear cells or transparent cells. They are arranged alternatively with each other. The gill base, which appears more or less triangular in the cross section, which consists of connective tissue. This entire it is a connective tissue bounded by an epidermis which is externally protected by a thin cuticle. This is the internal structure of the gill. And if you observe the blood vessels of the gill, here the blood supply to gill is through 3 longitudinal blood channels. Out of these 3, 2 are the lateral longitudinal blood channels. These 2 are the lateral longitudinal blood channels, and the middle one is the median longitudinal channel. The blood is supplied to gill is through 3 longitudinal blood channels. They run through the gill base from one end of the gill to the another. There are 2 lateral longitudinal channels run along the lateral margins on each side. The third one is the median longitudinal channel running through the apex of the gill base beneath the outer margin groove of the gill. The lateral channels connected with each other through transverse connective. So whenever if you see all these transverse connections and the 2 lateral longitudinal channels, that looks like a ladder. It gives a ladder-like appearance. In each gill plate, the lateral channel of that side gives off a slender marginal channel. Which runs all along its margin and finally joins the median longitudinal vessel. Here you can see these 2 are the lateral longitudinal vessel marks, and this is the median longitudinal vessel. Here the gap, yellow color gap, this is a marginal channel. Finally that runs into the median longitudinal channels. And if you see the blood circulation in gill, the blood circulation, it starts with the, if you come from the body parts, due to various metabolic activities, the body parts get accumulate impure blood, the blood with the carbon dioxide. This deoxygenated blood from all the body parts is brought to the gills by an afferent branchial channel. Afferent branchial channel that opens into the gill through the gill root and opens into the transverse connective channels. Then it flows first through the two lateral longitudinal channels. It flows through two lateral longitudinal channels and then through marginal channel. These are the lateral longitudinal channels and this yellow color one is the marginal channels, and finally enters into the median longitudinal channel. Finally reaches the median longitudinal channel. Then during this flow from the transverse connectives, lateral longitudinal channels, marginal channels and the median longitudinal channel, the blood get oxygenated. The oxygenated blood is carried by an efferent branchial channel. Efferent branchial channel. This efferent branchial channel goes to the pericardium. So from the pericardium, the blood flows into the heart, and from the heart it is supplied to again all the body parts. So for easy understanding, if you make a flow chart, first from the body parts, impure blood or deoxygenated blood that enters into afferent branchial channels, through the gill root enters into the transverse connectives. From transverse connective goes to the lateral longitudinal channels. From lateral longitudinal channels to marginal channels. Marginal channels to median longitudinal channels. From median longitudinal channels to efferent branchial channel. From efferent branchial channels to pericardium. Pericardium to heart. Heart to body parts. Pure blood again goes to body parts. We should always remember that those animals which show aquatic respiration, especially branchial respiration, in all of those animals, the afferent blood channels always carry the impure blood from body parts to the gills, and whereas efferent branchial channels, they carry pure blood from gills to the body part side. So we should remember, don't get confused, afferent impure blood, efferent pure blood. And coming to the mechanism of respiration. Mechanism of respiration. How the respiration takes place. The scaponathides of each maxilla lies anteriorly inside the gill chamber. The constant movements of the scaponathides drives water from the anterior open end of the chamber, so that the fresh water enters the gill chamber from behind in the form of a current to compensate the water loss. This action always allows the water over the inner lining of the bronchiostrigates, over the gills and the epipodates, which are richly supplied with blood, so that allows the exchange of gases. The extreme thin gill plates are excellent permeable structures and allows diffusion of gases. That is, the oxygen which is present in the water enters into the blood, and the carbon dioxide which is present in the blood that enters into the water again. So that is the mechanism of respiration. And finally, if you see the gill formula, it is very, very important. This side we have shown all the thoracic appendages, and this side different kinds of respiratory organs like the epipodates, podobronchs, orthobronch, pleurobronch. See here, 3 epipodites on each gill chamber. In each gill chamber, here these 3 epipodites are present on first, second, third maxillipeds. The podobranchs present on the second maxilliped. 2 orthobranchs, they are present on the third maxilliped, and there are 5 pleurobranchs in each gill chamber. They are present near the all the walking legs. 5 pairs of walking legs are there. So first walking leg, second walking leg, third walking leg, fourth and the fifth walking legs. So that here there are 3 epipodites, 1 podobranch, 2 orthobranchs, and 5 pleurobranchs on each side. So that there are 11 respiratory organs in each gill chamber. And if you see here, first maxilliped consists of only 1 epipodite. Second maxilliped consists of 1 epipodite and 1 podobranch, whereas the third maxilliped consists of 1 epipodite, 2 orthobranchs. All the walking legs, first walking leg contain 1 pleurobranch, second walking leg 1 pleurobranch, third walking leg 1 pleurobranch, fourth walking leg 1 pleurobranch, and the fifth walking leg 1 pleurobranch. So 5 pleurobranchs, okay, and then 3, 8 plus 2 plus 1, totally here also 11. So this is all about the gill formula. So whenever we talk about the respiratory system of the prawn, we should discuss all the 3 kinds of respiratory organs, namely bronchiostegids, epipodites, and the gills, and their importance and their location. Then the structure of the gill, internal structure of the gill, blood vessels of gill, blood circulation in gill, and the mechanism of respiration in gill. This is all about the respiratory system of prawn. Thank you one and all.